Well, how many of the decisions that you made in your life were decided by you, and how many were influenced by people around you, like your parents or your friends, so you would not disappoint them? So they had an influence on you. So in this video, we're going to actually delve into this topic, and I know it's something quite uncomfortable, but your career, your relationship, the way you speak, the way you dress, the way you hold yourself. Most people don't actually live their own lives. They live a version of themselves that feels acceptable to the others. And this is one of the deepest kind of psychological, let's say, roots of unhappiness. Because in life, you climb a ladder, you reach a certain hierarchy, but then you understand that you are climbing the ladder that was facing the wall that was not the right wall for you. Then you have to put the ladder, climb down, go to another wall, put it against the wall, and then try to go up. So if you try to climb in the hierarchy of the wrong thing just because a friend of yours is doing, or like a cousin does, or like your family says you should do, that's not the right thing. And generally, I think I look really more handsome with the sunglasses. That's the reason why I put the sunglasses on. So this is a very interesting kind of aspect. Almost all of us quietly haunted by one question: do they approve of me? They can be like your parents, your friends, your family. Because let's be honest, we all have been tribal kind of creatures. We've been living in a like for years of our lives. We've been living in a part of a society, a cult, and winning their approval meant survival, meant access to better kind of food, meant access to shelter, security. Right now is also with the social media that you can actually see the same thing. So it's exactly the same thing. People that make the social media apps make it on purpose so that a follow, a like would mean something to you. It's deep in our kind of psychological roots. You cannot take that from people. And that's the main importance that these are so successful. And from choosing the field of your study to choosing a partner, from expressing an opinion to simply being ourselves. This invisible question shapes our behavior more than we actually realize. This need for approval feels natural, and it's very easy. It's because it begins early in the life, and as children also we're trained through reward and punishment by our parents. If we behave in a certain way that we are expected, we are praised, we are given gifts. And if we don't, we are criticized or corrected or, let's say, ignored. And over time, a belief forms quietly in the background of our mind. My value depends on the outcome, depends on how other people judge me. This belief doesn't disappear when we grow up. It simply matures and distinguishes itself. As adults, we also chase achievements, status, admiration from the others, round of applause, validation. We learn how to read the room. We become skilled at adjusting ourselves to fit the expectations. And slowly, without noticing, we begin to abandon parts of the ourselves that feel risky, controversial, or inconvenient to others because we want to actually fit in the room, right? But that's the exact topic of this video. I'm going to tell you not to try to fit in the room. This is where freedom starts to actually shrink. When approval becomes important, self-censorship becomes automatic. You begin to monitor your words. You measure your reactions. You hesitate before being honest. So these are all actually like the clash of your freedom. So you think you might be free to choose, but you're gonna actually choose between the options that are already on the table and already have been decided. So you can choose between A, B, or C, but all of them have been right there by other people. So what should you do? You should understand if this is the right game that you want to play in the beginning. And that's a very like tough concept because it's easier said than done. And when approval becomes important, self-censorship becomes automatic. And on the outside, you may look composed, successful, even admirable. But on the inside, you feel tense, restless, and disconnected. And this is what happens these days with a lot of people. And it's a problem that we are facing on a daily basis because you're living according to standards that are not yours. They're based on the parents. Being approved does not mean being loved. It means being evaluated. Let me know if you like the background kind of sound as a rhythm. And when approval becomes the goal, the control over your life quietly shifts into other people's hand. And there is another kind of difficult truth about approval as well. Even if you obtain it, it never lasts forever. It's like a temporal kind of thing. You need to do a certain thing to actually fit in like that. And there's another difficult truth also about approval that most people's expectations are different. So what satisfies one person would disappoint the other one. So no matter what you do or how carefully you behave, someone somewhere will definitely misunderstand you and judge you or reject you. So you end up chasing something that is unstable. And a life built around unstable goals will always feel unsafe. From a kind of psychological perspective, even our emotions are not merely passive reactions. They often serve a function. Take anxiety as an example. A person says they want success, a job, an opportunity, a relationship, but when the moment arrives, they hesitate or withdraw. Why? Because failure threatens the identity more than the avoidance does. If you don't try, you don't officially fail, and that's the problem. Your self-image remains intact because most people are like having this concept, and obviously they would say that without trying, you don't know if it's going to work or if it's going to fail. So trying would divide into failure or success. Meanwhile, not trying would go to no failure. That's their concept. And I know it's a deep kind of discussion. And let me know what you guys think. You can comment down below. I can adjust the background kind of music also. Because I'm curious to get the feedback from you guys. What do you think? How many of the decisions you made were definitely by you, and how many were chosen by your parents or people around you because you want to, you know, follow the norm? And the person says that they want the success, but when it comes down to the reality, they do exactly the other thing. This doesn't mean that the people are consciously trying to do this kind of games. This is a process. It's usually unconscious. The anxiety is real, but it is purposeless. And at the same time, this perspective must be treated with care. Not all the anxiety is a strategy, and some anxiety has biological roots. Psychology is meant to bring understanding, not blame, and its purpose is growth, not self-attack. And hear me out on this one, because look, right now we have the phone, we have the computers, we have the chat GPT, we have AI, we have all these things, but at the same time, we're living through a time that we have never been this confused. Like, whatever happens, you would go and ask AI what to do. So it's a kind of paradox. With all these things that we have, at the same time, we are at the brink of failing. Like, this is not going to suffice. It's not enough. And this is a very interesting kind of concept as well. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section, because I'm curious to know your kind of opinion on this. I know it's a quite heavy kind of topic, but it's so true. Because people would have some expectation from us. So by doing what they expect, you would be fulfilling their kind of desire, and then you would be actually, let's say, part of the group and everything. But at the same time, I'm just telling you that the courage to be disliked would outweigh the courage to be part of a group that you do not belong to. For instance, like Abramovich had a really interesting kind of interview. I liked it very much. He said that if people they say that they like you, it's going to be temporal. It's going to be on a time basis, and they might change their mind. But if they say that they hate you, trust me, they do hate you, and that's a good thing. And he who desires to be disliked will gain the power, because no matter what you do, you cannot satisfy everyone. There will be some time that some person is going to be disliking your action. Maybe they're jealous, maybe you're doing better than them, but either way, a friend to everybody and enemy to yourself. You have the concept of that. I have a video exactly on that I will put it up here. You can actually go check it out. Feel free to let me know if you like the video, and you can comment down below, subscribe to us, and until the next one, keep thinking about it and look at the world from a different perspective, because what you know is partially true. If we all can actually expand this knowledge, there would not be many arguments, because you're right based on the understanding you have. Also, the other person that come from a different family, that they have a different thing, they're also right because they have a different background. So if you understand them, it's going to be a beautiful thing. But we tend to not understand each other, and we tend to be actually having one perspective and say, this is right, but it's not that. Remember the number 6 and 9? One perspective is 9, the other is 6. Both of them are right, looking at the same thing, but they have a different kind of image. So yeah, until the next one, have a good one, mate.